It is now a privilege to call forward Rabbi David Lyon to our bima, the senior rabbi of Congregation Beth Israel in Houston, where Dan worked for the last 7 years. It's such an honor to have my highly respected rabbinic colleague here at Central to help install our new cantor.
I'm the senior rabbi of Congregation Beth Israel, that's south of the Mason-Dixon line. And I must say, y'all do some good swaying here in New York City. So many beautiful words have been said about Cantor Daniel Multu. They are all true, and I will share with you that when Cantor Dan came to Houston, Texas, and auditioned for us, like Rabbi Buchdahl described, it was an empty sanctuary with 1,000 seats, and he took his place before the open ark, facing the ark. We were behind him, and as he ended with the sacred words of Avinu Malkeinu, we quickly wiped our faces and our eyes because the tears were flowing. The waterworks that we've been referencing all night speak of Shirat Hayam, the song of the sea. The waters really do part as they pour down our face because we are so filled with joy when Dan simply opens his mouth and music pours out. It's the feeling that he left us in Houston because he helped us to unfold and develop a musical vision that we never thought would be possible. But we knew that when he took up the guitar, the piano, the harmonica, has he played the harmonica for you yet? When he raised his hands and conducted the ensemble each Friday night, it was really a sight and a sound to behold. I know that none of us are truly in bondage like our Israelite ancestors, and when we walk through the proverbial sea of reeds, we're really not leaving slavery, thank God. But we are emerging to become the persons we are intended to be. And many words have been spoken, and many prayers are written down for us in our Sidurim. But there's nothing like music to elevate the words and truly place them into a context from which we can derive and become all that God created us to be. Rabbi Samuel Karff, my predecessor at Congregation Beth Israel, taught, we're all spiritual, but the deepest expression of our spirituality is participation in one's own religion. And Cantor Multu's Judaism, an ideal, helps us to discover the model of that participation in our faith tradition. Words, yes, but music, a musician who elevates while he deepens our participation in Jewish life, awakens our souls to become what we might discover we have yet to be. Cantor Multu is gifted, there's no question. And as I look at Nina Faya Multu, who graced our bima many times with her gracious voice and beautiful talent as a musician, as I see Saya tonight sitting there, you're growing up and I love seeing you play the violin, and your darling family who is here, thank you for making some trips to Houston to see us. I'm glad to see you here now. We've heard that Cantor Multu has no ego. I would say that anybody who stands on this pulpit at Central Synagogue in New York needs a little bit of an ego to sing and fill this magnificent space. But how he harnesses that energy and truly becomes the person we need him to be, even as we want him to be all that he can be for himself and his family, is quite a remarkable task and a tribute to his greatness. I have to tell you a story that many years ago, as we began to envision what music would be at Congregation Beth Israel, a past president of my congregation and I had a very private conversation with a staff person of Central Synagogue. We asked her a question: how do you account for the remarkable attendance and membership in your congregation and the fact that you have a waiting list to become a member here? And she said, Rabbi, I don't want to offend you, but with all due respect, it isn't about the rabbis, it's about the cantor. And I said, I'm not offended, and I know. And so, like you seek rabbis who are knowledgeable and who teach and inspire, but music that lifts and elevates all the words that come to our hearts and souls. And what I observed from my place on the pulpit in my synagogue on Shabbat and holidays when Cantor Multu sung, I saw the tears flowing and I saw eyes closed, not because they were sleeping, and certainly not because they were bored. That we attributed to the rabbi's sermons. But because Cantor Multu took people back to a place where they heard those melodies and those sounds, the place of their own synagogue when they were children, and the sound of their family singing the songs around the Seder table. And it wasn't only that Cantor Multu took us back, he connected those sounds to the present and assured us going forward that the fusion that he created would be a part of a marvelous and miraculous singing and musical future. Congregation Beth Israel extends its very best to Central Synagogue and to Cantor Multu, to Nina, your family, for years of song in the future, for hours and hours of joy and moments to grow as a congregation and as a congregational family. To Cantor Multu, who will always be a dear friend, a cherished colleague, and one who set us on a way from which we will never turn back, I only say, Alei v'hatzlach. May this night of your installation, my dear friend Dan, assure all of us and you that our journey to spiritual heights will be blessed, and that we may all celebrate your gifts of song and music, of heart and soul, for many years to come. Mazel tov to you, Central Synagogue, and to our nation, to be treated as a Reformed Jewish community to the sights and sounds and brilliance of Cantor Daniel Multu. Amen.